Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be working on our 2010 Mercedes G55 AMG. So my son's driving and he is not of age to drive. So if you're a police officer watching this, I'm sorry. If you hit any kids, it's 10 points.
10?
5 points? 5 points. 10 points for adults. The last few days, the weather's been warming up here in Central Texas. We're hitting days that are around 85 degrees. And I noticed that on the hotter days, the air conditioner is not able to keep up. For some reason, the passenger side blows nice and cold and the driver's side does not. But it only happens on the days that are warmer. If it's a little bit cooler, say about 77, 78 degrees outside or cooler than that, and I have it cranked down to the lowest temperature it'll go, the driver's side actually blows cold and it just seems fine. But on the days where it gets into the mid 80s and higher, the driver's side starts blowing basically what the outside temperature is, and the passenger side blows cold air. Now, it could be a problem with the blend doors or something else on the inside of the cabin, but since it's working correctly the rest of the time, and this has dual zone climate control where you can set the temperature for the passenger side, set the temperature for the driver's side separately. Before I do any of that, I'm gonna check the refrigerant pressures, the Freon. I'm gonna check the Freon pressures and levels and see where those are at. I'm hoping that adding a little bit of Freon, getting it up to where the factory spec should be on the pressures, will maybe solve the problem. I don't know, maybe I'm just being hopeful and the problem's somewhere else. But follow along, let's check it out together and find out what it is. The first thing you wanna do is locate where your high pressure and low pressure ports are for the air conditioning system. Every car is set up differently. Sometimes they're near each other, sometimes they're not. Basically want to follow the lines of your AC system and see where you see the ports, right? Kind of have to know what to look for. Now this is part of the air conditioning system. And if you look closely, right there, that's the cap for one of them. Take it off, you can see that Schrader valve in there. So that's one of them. And if we follow this line over there, that goes inside, that goes to the inside of the system. So I'm gonna follow this thing. I think the compressor is all the way at the bottom right here, the AC compressor. So there's probably another line. Oh, there we go, there's an AC line right there. Let's follow that right there. Ah, yes. There's the rest of the AC line, goes over there, but this right here is the other port. If you open it up, you should have a Schrader valve in there as well. They're two different sizes so that you can't mix them up. Now we are going to get our hoses and our gauge. These are really inexpensive. If you work on your own vehicle, buy a set, cheap, off of Amazon to have around in case you ever need it. I've used this thing on the house and various cars over the years. I think it was only like 25 bucks or something. It's come in very handy. I'll put a link down in the description so you can get your own. Here's our little kit. It comes with the hoses, high pressure hose, low pressure hose. High pressure is red, low pressure is blue, and then the yellow is to go to the tank of Freon, can of Freon that you'll be filling it up with. This one's been around the block and I've used the hell out of it. This knob goes right here usually, but it broke off last time I used it, so it's just in here. Maybe one day I'll not be lazy and glue it back on, but it still works. You can still turn the knob. You've got your gauges, low pressure, high pressure. You've got your hoses that would connect to your low pressure hose right here, high pressure hose right there, and then they would go to the coordinating ports on the vehicle. And then this middle one goes to the yellow hose that will connect to the can of Freon if it does need Freon. Then these two hoses right here, I'm sorry, not hoses, connectors. This is for your low pressure port, this is for your high pressure port. These are the two that actually clip on to the ports on the vehicle itself. And you can tell, if you can tell on the video, they are two different sizes. The diameter of the inside of the low pressure connector is smaller and the diameter of the high pressure side is bigger. So that way you can't screw it up and put them on the wrong ones. I've got it hung right up here on the hook on the hood. I've got my high pressure hose connected right here. Make sure this valve is closed while you're connecting it. And I've got my low pressure hose connected to that one right there. Again, make sure that valve is closed. Now that they're connected, I'm gonna open this one. There we go. That should be open enough. And I'm gonna open this one. There we go. And open it until you see these needles move. If the needles still haven't moved, either it's not open or your system's completely empty. I think this one has a couple more turns. There we go, perfect, all the way open. Oh, before you open those, make sure these two valves are closed. So tighten those two, then open those. And we'll get our readings on the gauge. Next thing we're gonna do is connect our yellow hose, just so we have it connected. There we go, we've got that yellow hose connected, and I have one of these little puncture fitting things on the end of it so that we can connect it to the can if we need to add Freon. Right now, the gauges are reading, that's the low pressure side. What is that, like 100 PSI? Yeah, and the high pressure side is reading, is at 150? Now the readings don't really mean much when the vehicle's off. What we're gonna do is start it, crank the AC all the way to cold, high speed on the fan, and I'm gonna have my son hold it at about 1500 RPM, maybe a little bit more than that, maybe 1700 RPM. And what we're gonna check for is the high side to be around 250. I don't know what the exact number is, but right around 250 is where it usually is on these mid-2000s, late 2000 Mercedes. And then on the low side, we're gonna be looking at somewhere around 30 to 40 PSI. So let's get it started and see where we are. Obviously, before you start it, make sure none of your hoses are gonna be in the way of the belts or any moving parts. I'm gonna hold this one out here. I'm just gonna leave it hanging. Well, actually, here, I'll put it right there. That way it's not gonna get in the way. All right, let's go ahead and crank it up. All right, go for it. I've got my son holding it at 1500 RPM, and let's check the pressures. That is not 200 yet, and that is pretty low. That's about, what is it, 15? So we're gonna add a little bit of Freon. I've got my Freon connected to the can here, and what I'm gonna do is push this down to puncture the top, and then I'm gonna open the valve on the low pressure side. We don't wanna open the valve on the high pressure side, but the low pressure side to start letting Freon in. You wanna do a little bit at a time, and you'll see the Freon kind of moving through this sight glass right here. I'm gonna have my son hold that up, upside down, a little bit high. Doesn't have to be super high. And we're going to, you see how that needle goes up? We're gonna let a little bit in at a time, and you see it flowing right through there. All right. I'm at about, what is that, 35 on the low side. I'm gonna try to get it to 40. Okay, we've got it at about 40, and the high side is creeping up. We're at about 190. So now we're gonna go hold the throttle at about 1500 RPM again, let all the Freon circulate. Okay, you can see our low pressure side dropped to about 25, so we need more Freon. And our high pressure side is up around 205. Let's creep up right here on this side. All right, we're gonna get it up to about 50 at idle, and then we'll see what it looks like at 1500 RPM. One more. The high pressure side looks pretty good. The low pressure side is sitting at maybe 25. Yeah, right at 25 PSI. We'll give it a minute. let it circulate and settle out. The low pressure side is up to about, what is that, 28, maybe 29. High pressure side dropped to about 245. All right, I'm gonna add just a little bit more. Okay. That's looking pretty good. Almost there. Okay. That looks pretty good. I'm right at about, what is that, 35 PSI, I think, on the low side. And maybe 255 on the high side. I'm gonna leave it about there. Let's go check the temperatures inside the car. We're back in the car. I can't find my little laser temperature thing, but we're just gonna check by feel. All right, how's that?
Cold.
Cold?
Yeah.
Cold? All cold?
Yeah.
Well, hey, that was a success. Let's put it on auto. And put it on auto. And we got our temperatures both cranked down. Yep. RPMs, keep them between 1500 to 2000. All right, does it feel even?
Yeah.
Perfectly even? Yeah.
Feel the same.
Seems like it. All right, well, that was a success. We're gonna take it for a quick drive. Like always, you do maintenance, take it for a test drive, and we're gonna see how it does. We've got it set to auto right now and crank the temperature all the way down. Yep. Oh my God, these little e-bike kids. Do y'all have these all over your neighborhood, terrorizing everybody? Yeah, man, that's illegal. Those are all the ones that are too fast and they need motorcycle licenses. At least they got helmets on. Man, I swear to God, some of these kids, they're out here at what time, like midnight?
Yeah.
No tail lights, no turn signals.
Oh, I got tail lights. They have turn signals, some of them.
Not the ones we saw the other night.
That one's got turn signals.
Maybe they should take a driver's license course and learn how to use them. Bad kids. Alright. Well, the fan speed slowed down because it cooled down in here. It's not blasting air, even though it's on the lowest setting. Still cold?
Yeah.
Well, that was a much easier fix than I assumed it'd be. I was hoping we wouldn't have to dig into all of this stuff and figure out all the air flappers and dampeners and things, the mode doors. You want to dig into this stuff anyway?
Dig into what?
You want to open the dash, see what the guts look like?
No.
We just leave it since it's fixed?
Yeah. Where am I going? I do not understand.
So my son's driving, and he is not of age to drive. So if you're a police officer watching this, I'm sorry. But we're just in the neighborhoods. If you hit any kids, it's 10 points.
10?
5 points? 5 points. 10 points for adults. Obviously that Freon went somewhere. If the system is leak-free, it shouldn't make its way out. So the can of Freon that I used, it has the combination of the R134A plus the lubricant plus the leak stop stuff that they put in there. If it's a tiny leak, which I assume it is, because we haven't touched the AC system since we bought this truck, and it was still cooling, just not cooling that well. If it's a really tiny leak, it'll either stop it if the O-rings just need a little bit of lubrication and it was dry, or maybe it'll just slow it down, or maybe it won't. Maybe it'll keep leaking. We're gonna keep an eye on it, and if it's all fixed, that's great. You know, who knows how many years it's been like that. Maybe somebody did some maintenance and just never filled it back up. You never know. If you're the first owner, maybe you know, but if you're buying a used car, you just never know. So it's good to do all this preventive maintenance stuff. Easy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you need a driver's license.
You can take the tint off these mirrors.
The windows?
Yeah, I can't see your mirrors.
Yeah, y'all can't see in the video because you can see right through that window, but the tint on this car is just
Illegal.
it's incredibly dark. Yes, it is illegal, but it also makes it very hard to see. You can tell a little bit right there. Everything reflects inward because of how dark it is. It's just like looking into a mirror. There's a reason why super dark tint is illegal in the front, and it's not just so the cops can see you. Turn signal. Nice, nice. Well, we've been driving for a little while. Both sides are still equivalent, same temperature, both sides cold. So if you guys are watching this and you've got a G-Wagon or really any Mercedes that's in the early 2000s years, this is a 2010. If you've got your AC blowing and it's only blowing cold on one side, try this first before digging into any of the actual mechanical components behind the dash, because this was, thank goodness, really easy. Only took, how long did that take?
5 minutes.
5 minutes? My son said 5 minutes. I mean,
Minutes.
with us video recording it and everything, taking our time, 10 minutes maybe. 5 minute fix is way easier than pulling all the guts out. I think we're gonna call that a success. Back to the dungeon. Dungeon. There's a dragon in there.
Like that weird game people play.
Thanks for hanging out and watching. Hope this video is helpful for you guys. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll leave the links down in the description for everything that I did use. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. If you want to support the channel, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified of more videos like this when they get uploaded, hit that bell icon. It'll send you a notification every time a video comes. In the meantime, I love you guys. I will see you next time.